Hi and welcome to a quick tour of a new desktop environment which I'm using on FreeBSD, and that's Lumina. Now, having used Lumina while I was reviewing Truos 17.12, I kinda took a shine to Lumina. I think it's a different experience and they were trying something new. So I decided, because FreeBSD and Lumina because FreeBSD and Truos are pretty much one and the same. There are some differences now as it's starting to diverge a little bit away from its FreeBSD roots, but because they are so similar, I thought I would try the port of Lumina for FreeBSD. There are many different types of window environments available for FreeBSD. There's desktop environments, full-blown desktop environments like KDE and GNOME, and lighter versions of window managers like Fluxbox, OpenBox, TWM and Motif Window Manager. The Motif Window Manager is the one that I tend to default to anyway, but I'm going to give Lumina a try for a bit and see if it's the same as it is on Truos, and so far I'm actually quite liking it. The desktop you're seeing right now is not the same out of the box as you will see when you first install Lumina. I've made a few modifications, altered a few things around, added which is basically two bars at the bottom, because I've got it spread over two monitors, and put some icons up there for linking to folders which I use, and change the thing down here. But it's essentially the same. I mean, if you used to click on the menu button there, these ones here which I've played, this is your favorite section. So any program which you really use on a regular basis, let's go for that. If I go to any of these, say for instance GTCam, the digital camera image downloader, if I was to right click on that and add to quick launch, it will appear on the bottom. If I was to right click it again, you can either pin it to the desktop or right click it again and add to favorites. Now you actually have to go into the original thing, scroll down, and the GT Cam is at the top. So you have three different ways to access your programs, and the favorite section is perhaps my least used one, because I see that if you have a quick launch bar at the bottom, you might as well just add it to that, or if you wanted to, just put it onto the desktop. You get rid of that. So yeah, that's the there is a slight glitch with the favorites disappearing, but that's not a problem. I mean, the files that you see here are just for demonstration programs, that are demonstration purposes, which I'll be showing you in a minute. Let's get rid of that. Remove from favorites, right? Most of the applications that you can download into FreeBSD are available automatically when you install Lumina. It picks them up just like any other desktop environment would. It really just goes to sort that out. You can access the files that you've downloaded and installed, the programs that you downloaded and installed, if you right click. See, this is where it shows its Fluxbox heritage. So if you right click anywhere on the desktop, you can access the menu system that way. So obviously terminal, and if you browse files, and after browse files brings up the Insight file manager, which I like. It's a really nice clean layout, simplistic layout, but it's nice and clean. Or you can see what installed applications there are. But if you don't want to access it like that and you use a traditional Windows style menu, you can access them like this. You can browse files, brings up the same Insight file manager, on browse applications lets you scroll down. There. That's my least favourite. I think it's very cumbersome. I don't like that at all. I prefer putting all the favourite ones on the quick launch, and if I wanted to, which if I wanted to do it this way, I could put them onto the desktop itself. Right. So these files here, these applications here, are native and specifically created for Lumina and Truos, but they've been ported over with the Lumina package to FreeBSD. I mean, in themselves there's nothing remarkable, but they're Lumina optimized, for a better word, to perform better. You have a Lumina text editor, which is just a basic text editor. You got your usual new file, open file, close file, save, etc., print, find and replace, and your various syntax and highlightings and word wraps. So it's not bad. It's a good basic text editor. The other one, which is a Lumina created application, is Lumina Search. So if you knew the name of a program or a file that you wanted to find, but you can't find it in the menu system, which, if you're not used to doing the menu systems on Fluxbox style window managers, or you find that the main Lumina menu system is to be a little bit confusing, which it can be, scrolling up and down and trying to find it that way, you just type in what you need. Say for instance OpenShot. OpenShot is installed because it's on the bottom quick launch bar, but if I type in OpenShot, it comes up like that. Or in fact, all the keywords that contain open, and then you just click it and it'll launch it several times. If you double click it, there you go. Open Arena. So you've got that way of doing it. So that's what Lumina Search is. Lumina Screenshot is obviously what it purports to be, is a screenshot utility. It's nice and simple. One thing I do like about the Lumina applications are the simplicity of them. They're not overloaded with useless features, and they're cleanly laid out, and they get the things done which needs to be done because you've selected it to be done. So rather than say, like, offer you 1,001 different choices for a screenshot, it'll just say, do you want to save? Capture and save. There you go, capture and save. There are settings, of course, if you wish to tweak it slightly and select area, entire screen, single screen, and second delay and stuff like that. But they're pretty much standard and very simple. So I'll just take a screenshot. There you go. Save as. Oh no, I'll take another one. There you go. I'll take this entire screen. There you go. Save it as. I'll save it to the desktop. Nope. Save it again. I have the settings, unfortunately. There you go. I'll save it to that. And it appears there. There's a nice little screenshot. So that's pretty cool. I like that. It's nice and simple. It gets the job done. The other thing I want to show you is the Lumina screen configuration. Now, this was just a simple. There's similar utilities available on Linux, and even the NVIDIA settings program will actually do this. But it's nice to see a Lumina created one to do the job. Again, nice and clean and laid out, and very simple. It won't bewilder you with different choices, and you can save it, which is a good thing. So it automatically sets up. If you've got a particular monitor setup that you want, and you save it as a profile, you can load it in without having to mess about and recreate it every time that you want to do it. But also you can take it to another FreeBSD or Truos computer with Lumina and import that into that. So you can set up all the computers you want in exactly the same way, which is pretty cool. Lumina PDF viewer. Now last time I tried that it was a little bit slow in starting. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, it's going to take its time. While that's doing that, we'll try the Lumina Media Player. Now the Lumina Media Player, again, it's a simplistic layout, very clean. You can import that way through your different folders. And once you've loaded a list, oh here it is, here's a PDF viewer. It's a little bit slow, but you know, it's fine. There you go. I've no PDF. I'll look at some PDFs later to show you what it's like. But let's have a look at the media thing, and yeah, it's very simple. It'll load them up sequentially, and it's just a media player. I mean, it will play video, it will play music, and it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Again, a simple, structured layout, and not bamboozle you with choices. I mean, I do like choices in my programs. I like to configure things beyond recognition, but sometimes you just want it to do the things it's meant to do. Oh, excuse me. Next up is the Lumina file information. So if you've got a particular, like a program on the desktop or a shortcut, this will give you the information. So let's try that out. We'll go to the home folder, and we'll go to view properties. That's that one. If I want to modify it, no, well, he's kind of did it. Oh, I know. Yeah, sorry. It's been a while since I used this, but let's have a look. Image view. I'll pin to the desktop as a file. It doesn't work on folder shortcuts. Right click, and we'll go to view properties. Now there's got your file view. So we had that there. We'll go back up to the file information. Yeah, that's it. It doesn't work on folders, but if you were to do a shortcut of a program that you use and keep it on the desktop, the file information program, or the XDD shortcut, as you see there, will actually be embedded into the file information thing as an extra tab, and that way you can alter, rename things if you wish. If you wanted to do it, slash hello. You can even change the icon, which I'm not going to bother doing it, but then say for instance, do you know when you do it? So we'll try that again. Okay. We'll just call it image, and we'll save that. Okay. No, there we are. I'll tell you what, I'm not going to bother with that. The next up is the Lumina Archiver, which unsurprisingly manages all your tar files and such like. I haven't tested it on whether it'll work with zips, but I should imagine it will. So we'll look, tar, GZ. Alright, yeah, it's got the rest. It's got the zip, 7-zip, and pretty comprehensive. And ISOs. Okay, that's pretty cool. So there's your little thing. I would imagine that you can drag and drop to it. So that's not so bad. They're the Lumina specific applications created for Lumina. I know there are alternatives that you can install, and they'll all work very well, but these ones are more like integrated into Lumina itself. Right. So that's the desktop. You can obviously change the wallpaper. For those people who love wallpaper and icons, you can change the wallpaper. You can change the screensaver, the wallpaper, the display, all desktop settings. Now this will take you to everything that can be configured in Lumina, and there's a lot of stuff that can be. If you want to change the wallpaper, if you so wish, you can add a directory, files, individual files, or directories, or recursively, so it'll scan through all the subdirectories, or just a solid color if you wish. And the fantastic about this is that each particular desktop can have a separate wallpaper. Look at that. The image the image might look a bit strange, that you've got one side with wallpaper and the other side not, but because I'm looking on two different monitors, I'm able to do each desktop separately. So when I change it back, just go back to that and then save it. But you can add entire directories if you wish. A single one, I've got a wallpaper directory there, which has only got that, which has only got two in anyway. But that's not bad. Let's go back to the settings. You can change the theme for those who like to change themes. I really must take off the single click. The themes, there's not a great deal of themes. But I would imagine if I was to look into it, then I could find some and install some. But I'm happy the way it is. You can have it looking like Windows if you wish. I don't know why you would want that. You know, just the way that the tabs are made out, and the decorations. Go to Fusion, which rounds the edges off. It's much more palatable. You can change the double clicks, combo boxing, you know, fade, animate, tooltip effects, all them different things. I keep it pretty much the default. Change obviously the desktop fonts if you wish. Icons. There's not a great number of icons there, but because I've not installed them, I've only installed a few that's come with a few window managers that I have installed separately. But there are quite a few different icon sets in FreeBSD, and if I was to install them, then they'd be available there for me to use. Try that one. That's actually, is it going to work? Yep. Very good. That's from a KDE3 lookalike desktop, which I'll be showing at a future time. It's not too bad at all. Rocks is a fantastic program. It's a desktop in its own right. The fonts, the icons are not so good. Let's try these ones. Not bad. Although I must like the I do like these ones. I'll keep these ones on for a bit. Okay. You can change the cursors if you wish. I'm not going to touch them. Thing is about Lumina, which is unlike perhaps other desktop or window managers, is the fact that it is a plug-in based desktop environment, in that you can change the look of it just simply by downloading the plugin and activating it. And I have no idea if Cinnamon is the same or GNOME 3. They probably are the same functionality, but I don't really use them, so let's okay, let's have a look. We'll disable, right, we'll disable that one, and disable that one, and we'll see what it looks like with disabled. General styles. Okay, doesn't seem to have no effect. Tray notification. Okay, right. Tooltip impulse sim. Alright, okay. Then you got a desktop file. This is the one I want. Yeah, the general styles is whether or not you get your tooltips coming up. So it's based on, for instance, tooltip simple. disable. Let's have a look. Let's see what it's like now. Alright, okay. So the tooltips at the bottom, I think, look a lot clearer without the plugin enabled. Let's enable it. Let's have a look. Apply that. Yeah, it's all shaded and nice, but no, I prefer it disabled. Let's go back to that. And the rest is tray notifications and sliders and stuff like that. The desktop styles. Now that affects mainly your taskbar or your quick launch bar at the bottom. So if I disable that one and that one, yeah. So the actual text around the icons on the desktop and the actual oh look, gnome, hey. But the actual bar at the bottom, yeah, it does affect it. We'll actually we'll enable that one to see what it looks like. I see, that's much better. Gives almost, like say, a glass look around the icons on the desktop. And the dark glass should apply to the taskbar at the bottom. Yeah, it's already come back. Oh, we'll actually do that. We'll disable that and we'll see what it is. Okay, I'll live with that. That's nice. So we got that. And so these are your theme settings. It's not fantastic if you're used to other operating systems or desktops and they think, yeah, well, you know, we can change this and change that. Well, then, fantastic. But this is just a and this is just a very simple way. It's a very lightweight theme changer, so you know that's fine. It's a lightweight desktop. We'll go back to the settings. Preferences, all settings. Right. So we looked at theme, wallpaper, window effects, disable. Yeah, it's just basically compositing manager using. I don't think it uses. Oh yeah, I think it uses Compton. I'm not sure. I think it uses Compton. But I'm going to leave it. I'm not too fussed. It works well. I've got a. It's not the fastest graphics card in this machine. I think it's a NVIDIA GT 750, 750i, one of them things. It's a long time since I put it in, but it works fine. No, I'm not more. On an older computer, I would perhaps disable it. Right. Okay. So you got Windows Manager. The window manager itself, yeah, because the underlying window manager for this desktop environment is Fluxbox. Although you can change the theme on Lumina in some respects, you have to therefore change the theme on the underlying window manager to get full effect. And this is the place that you do it. So it's back into the window manager settings, and this will let you change and set the number of workspaces, window placement, focus policy. The focus policy is when, say for instance, I'll open up a terminal there. The more Windows way of doing it is if I move the cursor between both windows, you can see nothing happens until I click the Windows to activate it and bring it to the forefront. Now if I was to active mouse focus, you can see the change in colour kind of still allowing you to click to bring one to the forefront, but the actual focus of the window itself moves with the mouse. Now that's a more of an old school Unixy type of way of doing things, and I do prefer doing that. But for the time being, I'm going to leave it to the default, like that. And the window theme. Now the window theme is standard Fluxbox windows, if you can see, and they'll change the actual decoration of the actual top of the windows itself. So at the moment I think it's set to meta, which is a very nice simple clean setting. I think I've always preferred that on Fluxbox actually. Whenever I've loaded up Fluxbox I've always preferred in meta. But if you change it, you get different variations, settings. I mean, if you've ever used Fluxbox, you'll know what most of these are. The text is right small, and if you was to alter the text, you'd need to actually edit the actual theme itself. So you go to edit like that, and this will show you the various things that can be edited. If you want to see the theme, there it tells you everything, that little commit. So if you want to see the theme, I would advise you make a copy of the theme, but for this demonstration it doesn't really matter. Alright, I'll just go into super user. Oh no, try again. Try to type when you've got a hand with a microphone in, it's not easy. Right, so I'll edit the style. Oh, sorry, go into that. Dying. Okay. Edit. Right. So this is the theme as it is, and if you want to change the text, you're going to have a look at the text. Some people lay them out differently. Background color, frame font. Right, you see, look. It's at 9 at the moment. So if I want to test 9 and 10, so let's have a look. I'll change that to because I'm half blind anyway. Not really, but I need reading glasses, so I'll change that to a 12. It'll be way too big for what I need. Okay, and then what we'll do is that we'll simple editor. We'll go to borrow blue, and then go to borrow green again. This is all the same. Fuck me. If you want to change the text on the top title bar, which is a little bit small, we'll change that one. I think this is the one I need to change. We'll try it again, and we'll go to simple. We'll go to borrow blue. Yeah, see. So just we change that. It's always a good idea to make a backup in case you don't like the changes you make, or you make a mistake, or you want to revert back to what it was. If you just put a hash in front of the thing that you want to change, and then you just undo it whenever you want to revert it back. But that's what you need to do. So to change, it lets you change the themes that you want, or particular of the window, at the top of the window. But it allows a certain level of configuration beyond that as well. So we go to that, to borrow green. The text is now slightly bigger than it is for the blue one. The blue one is how it was, so if that's too small, then you just need to change the thing there. So that's pretty good. So although preview has never really worked for me, so maybe, yeah, but it's not so bad. If I want to change the number of window, I think I'll just change to say like 6. And how you change that, that's interesting. Okay, down there, that little icon there is the workspace counter, so it lets you actually just go up to 6. So if you want to change it back to 4, so you're actually configuring Fluxbox, the underneath window manager. Okay, so let's have a look. and it should go down to 4 again. So it's pretty much instantaneous, which is pretty good. Right, so we've done theme, wallpaper, Windows effect, and window manager. You can actually now configure, get into more of the system to configure the further down you go. The top really is just the visual parts, but now it's time to get to the main meal. If you was to change, now this is where you set the defaults for things that you use. You can either have, and it just goes through the list of installed applications. You can choose anything you want really, but you really should choose a browser if it says web browser. I like SeaMonkey. It's I find it's old-fashioned retro, but it's also modern with the engine of Firefox, which is a best of both worlds for me. It's more like the old Mozilla suite. So I wanted to change it to, I don't know, say Firefox. Just do that, and then now it's your default browser. If you need to open up a link in your email or anything like that, we'll probably choose. I've not used this, but I'm kind of guessing we'll probably choose Firefox now. I'm going to go back to it because I prefer SeaMonkey. Again, with your email client, your file manager, and your terminal. More advanced, you can change your individual file associations. If you want particular image formats opened up with a particular application, then this is the place to do it. Same with your audio, and this tells you what each one does if you want to open up a Debian package. It's really configurable. I think one thing I've discovered about Lumina is it's surprisingly configurable. You can have it as simple as you wish, but if you delve into it, if you really want to configure everything, you can. It's a real paradox of a desktop operating system. It's a real paradox of a window manager, in the sense is that it can be as simple as you want or as advanced and complicated as you want. It swings between both extremes, I think. So that's pretty good. If you want to configure the auto start, which is really what starts up, obviously, when the window manager starts up. Don't need that starting. Yeah, Caribou, interesting. Ooh, Pulse, no. Ugh, no. So unfortunately, it draws in Pulse Audio. I don't like Pulse Audio. Right. Keyboard shortcuts are obviously what they are, and the sound theming. Now, sound theme is interesting because you can have start up and log out audio, which to me I don't normally encounter, but it's not so bad. You can choose whatever sound you want. You could actually you could have a sound file of yourself talking or saying hello or goodbye, and that would work quite well. I think that'd be quite good for the kids. If you was to set up Lumina as a child-friendly desktop for their schoolwork or their homework, I think that'd be fantastic for them. You could personalise it just for them. You can even have them make it fun and have them talking to a microphone, and it's just stuff, little things like that. But I don't need that starting. I'll just I'll disable that. You got your interface. Now this is almost like widgets. You can have widgets. There's not a great choice at the moment, and I think that will change. Or maybe it's already changed and you can get them from somewhere. I need to look into it. But this is this is to put widgets on your desktop, and we'll have a look. You can actually display removable media icons and display desktop folder contents, which if I was to unselect, they disappear. So that controls whether or not you can have icons on the screen. But we'll add one. We can add, so we can have let's have a look. Audio player. You can application launcher. I'll try this one. Yeah, this one will just put a. This is a roundabout way of putting. There you go. You see. Yeah, this is just a roundabout way of putting an icon on your screen. A convoluted way of doing it, I think, where you can just go to the main menu, right click, and pin to the desktop. It's much quicker to do that. So I can't think why they've done this twice. A repetition of it, I have no idea. But anyway, that's what that does. But if you want a proper widget, you go down to System Monitor. There's one there, and we'll add another one. We'll go down to Notepad. Go down to that. Let's have a look. We'll see what that's like. Yeah, and you can see you've got just a very brief, basic System Monitor and a very basic Notepad. Open to create a note. Let's have a look. We'll just kick. Write a little note. There you go. Yeah. And so you can just leave a little note to yourself. It's a bit like a sticky note, but not really sticky. Let's start moving it. We'll move it over to this over. Okay. You see, one interesting thing is, because each desktop is seen as together but separate. So a widget or a widget, it can't be moved to the other one. So we'll keep it on that. But that one can be. Oh, very strange. It just gives a brief summary. I wonder if there is. Start moving it. I see what I need to do. Yeah. You have to excuse me. I'm also learning this as I'm going along. I get you. So I can set two different widgets, the same one if necessary, on two different desktops and treat the desktops as separate, yet the desktops are the same. That is that weird. That I can't. I try to wrap my head around that, and it's still difficult. So let's have a look. If I go to, which is the second monitor, and add a system monitor there, should pop up, and it does. I see. Okay, that's pretty cool. We'll move that. So it's the same widget, but on a different desktop if I wish. That's interesting. That opens up a lot of possibilities. That's really interesting. So yeah, that's pretty cool then. So yeah, we'll get rid of that because I don't really need that running. And for the first monitor, we'll get that running. We'll get rid of that and get rid of that. Very interesting. Yeah. Okie dokie. So you can add desktop widgets if you wish, all separately as well, which is pretty cool. So then we got the menu, which is a I'll just make sure it's on the right monitor now that I know I can do separately ones. Yeah, this is just gives you a basic menu. So when you right click on an empty desktop, what you see there is what you see in this. So if you want to edit the menu on your right click option, this is the place that you do it. And your panels, now this is an interesting thing because I created a little, you can create, if I click on this little down there, this little folded up piece of paper, it gives you some profiles. So I've already set a panel up how I like it. So how you currently see it at the bottom is my own personal preference. It's work in progress. But you can have instant profiles which can mimic other operating systems, as you can see, in desktop environments with just one click. So if I do Windows, it will change it to that. It doesn't alter. Oh, it's interesting, it's still got the gnome foot. It just doesn't change the content, it changes the style. So if that's the Windows one. So the classic Windows one is having the start menu at the bottom and then like that. If you go to GNOME 2 and Mate, a little bit of tweaking is in order, but you can see you got your classic top pull down menus, and that is where your favourites will go, presumably. Not really use this one. Interesting. System dashboard. Yeah, and then you got your running applications at the bottom. And again, look, although it's a shared desktop, I can drag it over across like that. It's cross-pollination in that sense. But again, it's treated separately because on that side it's untouched. That's really good. You see, you can change the monitor. So if you've got more than one monitor, if you were lucky, you have to have more monitor. I might actually get a third one here. Each one would look completely different if you wanted it to. I can think of several reasons why you would. Say, for instance, one screen could be, say, a view screen for some security cameras, or another screen would be video production. Maybe you want it laid out in a more traditional way, that way. But that's pretty cool. So once you see, the top panel is that one. I think it's that one. Yeah, top panel is that one, and the bottom panel, where that bottom there, is that one. But if I was to select XFCE, it would change again, and you see the top one now becomes obviously like a GNOME 2, so there's not much change there, but the running programs taskbar is now up there, and this is like a quick select down here. That's very good. Again, it's stayed separately. And if you want another profile of a macOS, it would change it to a more traditional Mac looking way of doing it. That's actually, I don't mind that. That doesn't look too bad. That's actually pretty good. So, favourite ones. Oh, and your favourite one's there. Very nice. I like that. Does that still come up there? Yep. Again, there's repetition and replication. So there's your favourites there, but it also brings them up there. Okay. But that, I like that. That's pretty good. So you could set up each individual desktop with their own individual theming scheme. I like that. That's a lot of possibilities. If you want to go back, no panels. If you don't want any panels on it, if you just want to use it as a traditional, perhaps Fluxbox way of doing things, that's what you want to do. Preferences or Lumina settings. Let's get back to themes. If that's what you want to do, but I want to go back to the one that I did, and there she goes. I like that. That's very flexible. Like I say, it can be as simple or as complicated as you want it to be. That's really nice. So yeah, we'll leave it at that. So far we've looked at themes, wallpapers, window manager, window blah 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 blah. Right, okay. The system settings now is if you've installed any programs with their own individual pulse audio with their own individual settings, they're listed there. If anything, that's got it. Even TuxPaint. Wow. Yeah, because TuxPaint's got its settings. I forgot about that. But they all come up there, which is pretty neat. Desktop preferences. Let's have a look. Oh, hasn't got one. Okay. Customize look and feel. Alright, okay. So that's an additional way of theming it. Although you thought that perhaps I would have put it into the theming section, the appearance, but you know, that's fine. So if you want to change the actual look of a program that supports it, usually GTK programs. Ooh, let's have a Windows one. Yeah. Ugh, well, that's not so bad. So if I open up, does that affect that? You know, it probably doesn't. No. But still, let's have a look. Let's see if it affects that one. No. Ooh. That's sun colour. Stellar. That's sun, but you know, for different reasons, it's not calling it that. So yeah, okay, we got that. It lets you configure the different lookouts in video. So yeah, and then user settings is general options. You know, number lock at startup and chimes and exit. And then with the date. So yeah, as a window manager's Lumina, you can actually change it when you start in to use Fluxbox or OpenBox if it's installed as your default window manager. It's set at the moment at Lumina, which is obviously. It's good that you got the chance, you know, the way to change it. And user icon. User icon? Yeah. Just lets you choose your picture on your login screen. And localization, system default. Although you can choose from a wide range, but I'll leave it at system default. And that is pretty much it on the desktop settings thing. So remember, if you right click, you can easily get to your desktop settings. All desktop settings there. So that's pretty good. I like that. Speaking of the version of Lumina, for those who wish to know, it's Lumina version 1.4.1. OS build FreeBSD. Yay! Qt version for all those who are interested. 5.9.4. So I don't know whether that's recent or new or old. I've no idea. But this will also take you to the Lumina website, the source repository, a community question and answer forum, and this way you to submit bugs. And for this to submit bugs. I like it. License. There's a quick rundown of the license. It's a BSD. So look, is it 3 clause? Yep, it's a 3 clause license. And sponsors, it'll tell you the project lead is Ken Moore. It was originally created by Chris Moore, but Ken Moore's the project lead. And sponsors, there's Truos, and we just changed from PTSD to Truos then. IX Systems. There they are. Very good company, by the way. I don't work for IX Systems. I wish I did. But they are a very, very good company who actually contributes a lot to the FreeBSD movement and to open source in general. And their TrueNAS storage software that you can put on any PC or any server. I mean, you could buy obviously the pre-made things if you wish, but the TrueNAS and the FreeNAS are brilliant. Absolutely yes. You set one of them up for your home file server, you won't have any problems. Very good. So we got that. So I've gone over them things there. I've gone over your terminal is I chose XFCE terminal, I think. Or was it LX terminal? No, XFCE, I can't remember. Got that. In fact, what we'll do is we'll open the front menu bar. Yep, XFCE4 terminal. I kind of like this terminal. I know I should use Xterm. I usually do use Xterm when I'm on the Motif Window Manager or TWM. I use Xterm there. But I don't know. I just wanted a little bit of panache. I like the font rendering in this. I know you can get some nice fonts going in the next term, but you know, it can be a bit tricky sometimes, but I like the font rendering. Anyway, this is the view of the top. I don't use HTOP. HTOP is overrated when you can use top hyphen capital P and it'll give you the same information. If you know, it's everything you need is there. You don't need a nice visual display that HTOP gives you. Not wrong with HTOP, I just don't prefer it. And I think it's overused by many reviewers who whip it out as soon as the system's loaded in the virtual box, so you haven't used it, and and they marvel at just how little RAM it's used. Now this system that I'm using now is used on a daily basis. OpenShot, video editing, word processing. I do everything. There's a webcam going, which you're not going to see me, and see, even simple screen recorders running, so it's taking up 82%. On this 8-core AMD 8350 that I'm using, it's using, and unless I'm reading this wrongly, I think it's using 515 megabytes. So I mean, you know, this is a 32 gigabyte system. You've got 2 gigabytes of RAM which is reserved, so it's not so bad. It's not so bad. 27 gigabytes is free. Yeah, active. So actually what we'll do is I'm just gonna have a look now. I'm going to start up LibreOffice. See, that's where they're changing the look of it. Let's have a look. I can't find it now. Desktop settings. It was that one, wasn't it? It was customize look and feel. That's it. Ooh, I don't know why that looks. I mean, I do like that if it was in the right setting. If I was using Motif, which actually will do that. That's interesting. Let's put it back to as it was. Like that. No. Okay. No, that one. Okay, that's not so bad. I don't mind that. That's not so bad. 4.6 maybe. Okay. Right. Certainly don't want Windows. Oh, that's not. I don't mind that. Okay, well I'll leave it at that. I don't like the look of Windows, but we'll leave it at that. So I got LibreOffice running, LibreCalc, Impress, and we'll just do it like that. Again, you see, so now we've got only 614 going. Scribus, we'll get that off and going, and Inkscape. I do like Inkscape. Inkscape I use on I'll use it on a regular basis. Absolutely brilliant program. For a vector drawing program, it's brilliant. So I've got some heavyweight things going at the moment. It's only 723. Let's have a look for. Let's search. I want to find. Let's have a look. So it's make. Okay. Make calculator, front viewer. System. Oh, HTOP's on there. Ooh, okay, I'll put H. Thing is with HTOP, it doesn't work on FreeBSD in the same way it works on Linux, and that's why I don't like it. Okay. We're going to go into. I'm going to have a look now. I'll have to dig it out. Hey, user. I can't remember what the thing is. I'm trying to find a system monitor for Mate. And I can't remember what it was called. No. Okay, we'll try something else. Okay. Make system monitor. Let's try that, shall we? Is it going to be as obvious as that? Yeah, it is. Right. According to that, you see, the thing is, this is why when you run a system and you become obsessed with how much memory is being used, there's a misconception to think, this is either a light system or a heavy system, or the computer's using a lot. As you can see from the top, it's 731 at the moment is active, with 2.462 gigabytes inactive. Now, if you was to look on the system monitor, it's telling you that it's 2.6 gigabytes is being used out of 31. 2.6 out of 31. You're not going to miss it. But it's not really 2.6. This 2.6 is comprised of 730 at the moment, which is active, with 2.4 put aside if you want to use a program again. So if it's all like close stuff down, I mean, what does he mean? What are you talking about? Well, what I mean, I'm talking about is things will start up. So look now, I've closed all them programs off. It's gone down to 535, but the amount of inactive really hasn't changed, and it really hasn't changed on the memory usage there. It still says 2.4, because that memory is reserved for future use. If I want to start up LibreOffice again, it will start up, and it starts up quicker than it would do if it was initially started, because the memory is pulled out of, let's describe it, semi-retirement. It's not fully retired, it's not all gone back to its idle state, but it was kind of like hovering in and out of the door, not quite in, not quite out. Well, then when you need it, it comes in the door. So when a lot of people look at the memory usage and think, oh, this is a very heavy system, oh, this is a very light system, well, that's fine. It's a very light system if nothing has been used, or a very heavy system if you're using GNOME or KDE and it pulls in a lot of libraries for future use. That's why if you use like GNOME 3 or anything like that, and then start up Firefox, it's going to be quick, because, or OpenOffice or LibreOffice, because many of the libraries have already been preloaded. If you use a very light window manager like Fluxbox or TWM, the first time that you start up LibreOffice, it's going to be a bit of a delay, because it has to load up the libraries associated with LibreOffice, which would automatically been loaded up with GNOME 3 and that lot. But because you're using the light window manager, where them libraries are not loaded up until you need them, it loads them up, everything runs tickety-boo, and then you exit the program. But the amount of memory needed for them libraries are still not being put back to where they should be, not being filed away again, but they're kind of like held just in case you need to start up the program. And the second time you think, oh yeah, I just need to finish off a quick letter, you load up LibreOffice again, and it'll load up a lot quicker, because it's held kind of in memory on the off chance that you might have needed to load it up again. So that's the difference between active memory and inactive memory. The inactive is reserved just in case you need it, and there's a lot of people trip themselves up looking at the lightness or the heaviness of a system and not fully understanding that RAM is never wasted. If it's not if it's not used, it's wasted. And FreeBSD is very good at managing memory. Yeah. But there you go. So looking at that, it corresponds really with what it's saying on top. You see, you can have a nice fancy graphical display of everything that's going on if you wanted to. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's very nice. I mean, I used to, in the old GNOME 2 days, on when I used to use Ubuntu, before they changed it to Unity and brought in Systemd and all them lot, I think it was around about 8.04. It was a very nice system. It was fantastic. I think a lot of people got into Linux through that. It was a very coherent system. But you know, they decided to use Unity, and well, you know, I think I left it and I didn't go back. Found my way onto FreeBSD, so I'm happy with that. But what you see on that top there is pretty much what you see on the system monitor from Mate. But again, you see, even after all this time, the memory, I'll get rid of OpenShop. See if that makes a difference. Brings it down for, yeah, the memory is reduced a bit. But again, you see, the reserved memory is still there. So, you know, I think Lumina is a very efficient desktop environment window manager. What's it called? Described as a desktop environment. I think it is using a window manager, or is it a window manager? I don't know. It's a very efficient one, and I think it manages its resources very well. For those who know it not, it's 64-bit using the FreeBSD kernel 11.1 release and patch 4 for the AMD 64. And 8350 8-core processor. Fantastic processor. You know, I could never afford the i7 and i5s and that a lot of the time, so when I bought the 8350, which is must have been back in 2015 when I self-built the computer, I think the processor cost me about £120 alone, and at the time it was a lot cheaper than comparable Intel ones. Oh god, stop yawning, it's terrible. Alright, so that's good. We'll keep that going. This libview tip was compiled on FreeBSD 11.3.6. Ooh. Recompile it. Interesting. Yeah, let's see if there's any updates. There are some reviewers out there who I've seen recently give wrong advice about how you should log in using root to get things done. Nah, you don't. You just need, you know, if you use su for super user, I don't like using sudo, but if you use su for super user and just remember to exit it when you finish, you're fine. You don't need to log in using root. You don't need to log into your actual desktop environment or window manager with root. You don't want to be doing that, because that really does open you up to yeah, there's a few security problems going on there. Right, so FreeBSD update fetch. Let's see if there's any updates. So yeah, it's not so bad. I like Lumina. Oh, there's not. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna see if there's any updates to the ports. Ooh, quite a few. Ooh, look at all these. All these ones. Nicey, nicey, nicey. I'll update them later. Yeah. In general, I like Lumina. I think Lumina's got a lot of potential. I think you can make it as look a modern system. Let me get rid of that GNOME thing now. You can make it look like a modern system if you wish, a modern desktop, or you can make it look old-fashioned. I think it's very flexible. I think the programs, the applications that you need to use can integrate very well with it. I think the speed is fast. I think it uses low resources. You can have it as fancy as you want or as plain as you want. It really is quite flexible. Ooh, Scanlight. Let's see if it works with that. Let's shove something in there. I'm just looking for something. Oh yeah, let's have a look. I'm just going to load up one of my favourite chocolate bar wrappers, and then you'll get to know what I like to eat. So have a look. I wonder if it'll do it. Preview, does it work? Yeah. There we go. Whee! This is my Canoscan LIDE 220. The one that wouldn't really work with Truos for some reason. But it works quite well with it works actually very well with FreeBSD vanilla. And it works well with GhostBSD, which I'll be reviewing I'll put it in the April schedule, but it works well with that. So I don't know what happened with Truos, but there you know. It's fine. Let's take a scan then. Okay, I'll scan it. So everything integrates really nicely with Lumina. There's no messing about. It's really good. Like I say, you can access the old-fashioned way, Fluxbox and OpenBox, or you can just do it the Windows way, whichever way suits you. There we are. Look at that. That's very nice. I love Scanlight. Scanlight's a fantastic Sane-based front end. It's brilliant. I know some people like you know, Simple Scan from Canonical or Ubuntu, but I prefer Scanlight. Scanlight is really good. It's very flexible. Zoom to actual size. Wow, really? Okay. Zoom to fit. I love Ritter Sport, by the way. If you know anyone that's a chance to try Ritter Sport, marzipan, rum and raisin, absolutely lovely. Rum and raisin at Christmas time, can't beat it. So there you go. Okay, that's fantastic. So there. Home folder, network storage. Well done. Done all these at the bottom. I could give a rundown on each one of these, but I don't know. Oh, okay. No, I wanted that. I just wanted that. Okay. Pause recording. No, that's fine. No, it's good recording. There you go. Simple screenshot. For those actually who think that FreeBSD is really for servers, no. My experience is that it's perfectly adequate, if not better, than Linux in some respects on the desktop. It is perfect. There's nothing wrong with it. Everything works. Auto mounting USBs that you plug in, external hard drives, scanners, printers, even VoIP. VoIP works fine on FreeBSD, nothing at all. Although I'm not talking about Skype, I'm talking about, you know, Ikiga and stuff like that. Or Ikiga. Or the other VoIP applications, they work equally as well. So yeah, it's very good. I'm quite impressed. I'm very impressed with Truos. I thought when I did that review, although it was only really just for a day, it took me longer than a day. I used it solidly for a day, but then the editing process, adding information, took me longer than a day. It took me about a week, in and out, when I could fit it in. And I was very impressed by Truos. I think, in particular, I was impressed by Lumina and the way that they both integrate together. I think a lot of people they're unsure of Lumina or unsure of Truos because they're both tied together, and a little bit scared of Lumina because it's a different way of doing things. They might say it was ugly. They might say, oh well, you know, I prefer, it's not GNOME, it's not KDE. No, it's not GNOME and it's not KDE. It was designed from scratch, sitting on top of Fluxbox, which I think the developers at a later time said that they will replace the Fluxbox element, so it really will be its own captain of its own ship. But for now, yeah, I think it's a brave attempt. I think to have BSD, FreeBSD and Truos, to have BSD have its own purpose made desktop environment or window manager is a very brave thing to do. I know it can be ported over to Linux, but I think the further away you port it from TrueOS is the weaker it gets. You know, there's very little difference between the FreeBSD version and the TrueOS version. There might be there are some specific features. For instance, I mean, in the TrueOS build of Lumina, you can get hardware level screen brightness, and you can also detect when system updates are available and prevent your user from logging off or restarting the system while updates are in progress. But also you got App Cafe as well, and Life Preserver and stuff like that. So with that, you do get them added things, and with FreeBSD you don't get them, but it's still BSD, and it's still, you know, practically made for FreeBSD. It's only one tiny little level down, and I think further away you get from BSD, I think the weaker it gets. So perhaps when some people try it on Linux, they're not overly impressed because a lot of the features won't be there. But that's how I look at it. That's how I see it. Anyway, goodness knows how long I've rambled on. I think I should draw this to a close. I don't normally do these kind of things. I've been talking for an hour and 11 minutes. I'm 12 minutes coming up. I don't talk this long. My voice is starting to go. Some of it's been edited, and by the time you see this, I shouldn't imagine that I won't make one or two changes. But I just wanted to show you. I just wanted to show you how Lumina can look, how it can act, how it can behave. It's not 100% perfect. There are one or two bugs going on. You know, and this favourite part here is not my favourite, bizarrely. Monitor settings. That's all. Oh, you can actually change monitor settings. Turn off DVR. I can turn that one off.